chapter 37 in the book of Exodus in the King James Version. And Bezaleel made the ark of shittim wood. 2 cubits and a half was the length of it, and 1 cubit and a half the breadth of it, and 1 cubit and a half the height of it. And he overlaid it with pure gold within and without, and made a crown of gold to it round about. And he cast for it 4 rings of gold to be set by the 4 corners of it, even 2 rings upon the one side of it, and 2 rings upon the other side of it. And he made staves of shittim wood and overlaid them with gold. And he put the staves into the rings by the sides of the ark to bear the ark. And he made the mercy seat of pure gold. 2 cubits and a half was the length thereof, and 1 cubit and a half the breadth thereof. And he made 2 cherubims of gold, beaten out of one piece, made he them on the 2 ends of the mercy seat. 1 cherub on the end on this side, and another cherub on the other end on that side. Out of the mercy seat made he the cherubims on the 2 ends thereof. And the cherubim spread out their wings on high, and covered with their wings over the mercy seat, with their faces one to another. Even to the mercy seatward were the faces of the cherubims. And he made the table of shittim wood. 2 cubits was the length thereof, and 1 cubit the breadth thereof, and 1 cubit and a half the height thereof. And he overlaid it with pure gold, and made thereunto a crown of gold round about. Also he made thereunto a border of an handbreadth round about, and made a crown of gold for the border thereof round about. And he cast for it 4 rings of gold, and put the rings upon the 4 corners that were in the 4 feet thereof. Over against the border were the rings, the places for the staves to bear the table. And he made the staves of shittim wood, and overlaid them with gold to bear the table. And he made the vessels which were upon the table, his dishes, and his spoons, and his bowls, and his coverings to cover withal of pure gold. And he made the candlestick of pure gold, of beaten work made he the candlestick, his shaft and his branch, his bowls, his knops, and his flowers were of the same. And 6 branches going out of the sides thereof, 3 branches of the candlestick out of the one side thereof, and 3 branches of the candlestick out of the other side thereof. 3 bowls made after the fashion of almonds in one branch, a knop and a flower, and 3 bowls made like almonds in another branch, a knop and a flower, so throughout the 6 branches going out of the candlestick. And in the candlestick were 4 bowls made like almonds, his knops and his flowers, and a knop under 2 branches of the same, and a knop under 2 branches of the same, and a knop under 2 branches of the same, according to the 6 branches going out of it. Their knops and their branches were of the same. All of it was one beaten work of pure gold. And he made his 7 lamps, and his snuffers, and his snuff dishes of pure gold. Of a talent of pure gold made he it, and all the vessels thereof. And he made the incense altar of shittim wood. The length of it was 1 cubit, and the breadth of it 1 cubit. It was 4 square, and 2 cubits was the height of it. The horns thereof were of the same. And he overlaid it with pure gold, both the top of it and the sides thereof round about, and the horns of it. Also he made unto it a crown of gold round about. And he made 2 rings of gold for it under the crown thereof, by the corners of it, upon the 2 sides thereof, to be places for the staves to bear it withal. And he made the staves of shittim wood, and overlaid them with gold. And he made the holy anointing oil and the pure incense of sweet spices, according to the work of the apothecary. Okay, so a lot here, lots of description on the tabernacle, the building of the tabernacle, all the way to the fine details of the building of the tabernacle, and how everything, lots of things that were inside the tabernacle were overlaid with gold, things that they had received from all the jewelry all of this that they had brought with them, all of this that they had brought with them from out of bondage from the land of Egypt. They had been a slave for all of these years, and now they are free. And one could say part of that payment that they never received, they were able to get some of it. But that's not a way, that may not be the way to look at it as well, because of all the years that they were enslaved. Not only that, but how they were mistreated. They were treated like they were nothing. And here they are, they give freely to the Lord, and they're building this tabernacle to the Lord, and these things are going to become holy unto the Lord. And so they're giving their best because all of this was made by the Lord. So think about this as we read and bring past to present. So what does it say here? He says in verse 38, in the 5 pillars of it with their hooks, and he overlaid their chapiters and their fillets with gold, but their 5 sockets were of brass. So all of this wonderful jewelry, all of these wonderful things that are make beautiful items are from the Lord. Remember, the Lord created all things. And so when we utilize them, we're just utilizing them. And it's okay to utilize them for the Lord as well. And a lot of times, it's also best to utilize things for the Lord as well. It's giving back what He's given us. And when we give back what He's given us, don't think that that doesn't go unnoticed or even is neither here nor there. The Lord sees those things. And if you've been with us through the NIV version, you know that there's awards. There's awards for us in heaven just waiting for us. And also, the Lord has the right to continue to utilize those things, and we continue to utilize those things and give right back to us, or provide it so that it's in continuous use for all of us. And so that's one of the main details here. All of these things, these pieces of jewelry that were melted down and now being overlaid to create the candlestick, and all of these tools and all of these things for the tabernacle, were for purpose of worship of the Lord, so that everyone can participate, everyone can bring their sacrifices, and they could be prepared in the best way by the sanctified and holy priests, and they can give of their best and utilize their best and show that, yes, we too can be good. We too can be a light. With the Lord helping us and guiding us, we can be reflections of His goodness and glory. So there's a lot here in chapter 7, but what kind of thoughts or feelings come to your mind when we read over this? How does it make you feel, and what does it make you think?